in terms of identifying opportunities, are you going out and buying the big swaths of land? Is it more focused on assembly? And is there a big gap between approved sites, unapproved sites? Do you want approved sites right now?
Yeah, look, you're touching on a lot of themes. So I'd say for us as a company, we actually bought a ton in the outer 416, and we did a big 905 acquisition.
Right.
So we bought the Pickering Town Center. We basically bought 60 acres in downtown Pickering.
Right.
So let's call it. You can call it a covered land play. It's an income generating asset, being the mall with all the excess lands around it. We launched 2 towers there. We're breaking ground on those very soon.
Wait, how big is that one again?
Like 60 acres.
Yeah. Monster.
So
yeah, that's like East Harbor,
and
same type of thing.
And so when I look at our exposure, I think we're good on the
Right.
on the outer 416 905. We also have a big presence in Etobicoke. So I think if you think of the way I think of our book is, obviously you can look at it from a land price standpoint. You can look at it from like a geographic standpoint. You can also look at it from like a price standpoint. And today my goal is to basically inject 416 product into our balance sheet, inject it at effectively pricing that brings down our overall cost of land, that brings down our call it overall average weighted sales number.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to buy anything that's more expensive than what I currently own.
Right.
If that makes sense. And I want to buy in areas I don't have exposure to. So we don't have exposure on our balance sheet to Midtown. We don't have exposure to Young Shepherd, Young Finch. Those are actually great neighborhoods that are on transit that have historically been undersupplied, underbuilt, because North York has its own quirks. So I think there's opportunities there. There's also opportunities again in select pockets. Like if you're by Old Mill Station, great neighborhood, like it's highly desirable, but it's just a different product, right? It's typically higher end, more. I hate when people say end user focus. It's just people who have a lot of money are probably selling a house. That's not who we build for. We build for like first time home buyers, meat and potatoes in the market.
Right.
So it's the combination of the right location for the right product. And where I don't want to be is I don't want to be in places just because there's transit. I get this all the time. There's a GO station. I'm like, that's great. What else?
Right.
Once upon a time that was enough, but not anymore. It's not enough. Like I don't care that you have access to transit. Like not everywhere that there's a transit site can I just put a building up and think it's going to be successful. And then 2, I don't need 1 million square feet.
Right.
I think this is
that's a good point.
This is a big, and by the way, I don't know what the right number is.
I hear that all the time too, but I can build 1 million square feet. I can build 2 million. Like nobody wants to do that there.
I can tell you, I was speaking to a land vendor and, he was coming at me. He's like, well, I don't understand like your pricing. Like I can get 50 stories here.
Right.
I said, yeah, I agree with you. I probably get 55.
Yeah.
I just can't build it. So I'm not paying you for it. Like
be the tallest building in Barrie by 50 stories.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's but that's the reality today. The reality is, and that's adds a different kind of dynamic to the marketplace, right?
Right.
Where people are like, what happens if it turns back on? I'm like, listen, I don't know what happens if it turns back on. Like today we're looking at sites and saying, okay, we can get X, but how much can we sell? And that's more of an art than a science, right? It's so today, like I like to be 250,000 up to like 350,000 square feet, no more than like mid 40s, like at the max, ideally 38 to 40 stories.
Right.
And why is that? Because it's a really efficient construction. It's the right number of elevators. It's the right lifestyle for the people who live there. Like it's not a ton of inventory. I feel like we can actually move through that product and deliver homes in a time frame that actually is like, manageable for people buying in the building. So there's a lot of rationale for it.
Right.
But it is tough, right? It's tough to accept. And again, it goes back to like where we are in the cycle to accept that like, this is not actually, $100 a foot at 50 stories. It's, $80 a foot at 40.
Yeah.
And some people just can't transact on that basis.
We go through that exercise day in, day out. Like that's what 2025 is about. It's like half of our pitches, because we want to be realistic. We don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, right? The opposite way is the best. So like half of the conversations are owners telling us, well, like this guy offered me $400 a door in 2021. And you're like, well, get in your time machine.
Yeah, get the time machine.
Yeah, but it's still in multifamily, still a lot of liquidity existing. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, that resetting of expectations takes a while.
Takes a while, and by the way, it's hard. Like what are revenues today? Right? Like, it's really hard to forecast. And like, I mean, forecast even using today's numbers. Like, we look at existing condo resale.
Yeah.
As like our barometer of pricing.
Yeah.
So, we say, okay.
How do you? Yeah.
Well, the problem is like, if you view the market's going to get worse tomorrow, can you actually look at today's resale data and say like, this is what I'm going to underwrite? Or like, do you go to an extreme and say it's going to get worse? Or do you think it's going to get modestly better? How much of a premium are pre-construction buyers going to pay for a pre-con unit relative to resale? Like there's so many different ways to, think about that top line. And I don't know which one is accurate, right? Like we're not going to know for 5 or 7 or 10 years who was actually right or wrong.
Yeah.
But today, making a purchasing decision, it's really tough to go out and commit capital if you don't feel like the wind is at your back.
Right.
Even for a group like us, who like we're well capitalized and I'm eager to buy and we are buying.
Yeah.
But candidly, we run our pro formas, we run our sensitivities, and part of it just saying like is like how much optionality or flexibility do I have at this land number, right? If I buy it for X, can I sell it for resale?
Yeah.
If I buy it for X, can I turn it into a rental? If I buy it for X, can I, like what can I do with this at this price? And we don't want to pigeonhole ourselves into one strategy or one whole period because we don't know what the future has in store. So trying to make smart buys that set you up for success over the next 3 to 5 years.